Wisdom, the CSE podcast show. And we have a couple of new members on here today. I'll get to them in a few minutes. If you want to call in, the number is 214-377-1108, 214-377-1108. If you want to send in an email, which we will address next Thursday at 10 o'clock, go to podcast at compoundstockearnings.com. Podcast, compoundstockearnings.com. Go to our website, compoundstockearnings.com, and sign up for our free calendar. It comes out every Friday. It's dated for Saturday. It's into its 20th year of publication. And it has all the questions people write us and what all these guys, how they answer them, and just all kinds of stuff that's in that cow report. And so it really gives you a good feel for what's going on and what people are making on their investments, and what each one of these people, every time they do something, it'll be in the cow report. And so you can see a good summary. It's not going to help you out currently, but see a good summary of what they've done for the week and what their people have made for the week, and then any other special announcements. The website has all kinds of stuff, all the programs we have, what they cost, any free trials, just all kinds of stuff about CSE, and that's compoundstockearnings.com. Okay, Marcus, and I want to introduce here Tony Johnson and Micah Donahue, and they both handle our micro moment trading. This is the first time they're on here. Hey, Keith just signed in. There he is up there. And Keith, this introduction of Micah, Tony, the other two gentlemen handling micro moment. And they're in their second week. This is the third. This is the fourth day. The fourth day of the second week. So we'll get to their returns here in a few minutes. But anyhow, so I want to welcome them. They'll be on here. If one of them can't make it, then one of them will. Maybe sometime neither one of them can make it. But just like the rest of us here, except for myself, who always has to make it, I guess, except on maybe one occasion, I was halfway between here and Puerto Rico or something. The plane went down to survive. But other than that, it's pretty normal if we have everybody here. Marcus, regarding your self-driving cars, I've determined why, finally, and I'm the only realist in the entire world that's determined why they will never become popular with just people, just regular people, because most people are pretty filthy, and they're not going to put up the ones that pick you up somewhere are not going to put up the car being constantly dirty. And you think about a family and they've got a kid. The wife goes out to the car. She's carrying a car seat. She's carrying 2 or 3 bags, diapers, all kinds of stuff. It's not going to work in a car that picks you up. And I hate to kill the industry, but I'm sure that's going out across everything right now. Wall Street's adhering to what I just said.
Now what are you saying? That it's not going to work because of why?
Well, because people aren't going to call a car, like a mother that's going to go to the store or go somewhere is not going to call a car and drag out the baby carriage, the car seat, 2 or 3 bags of stuff. And people typically live out of their cars half the time anyhow. They got so much crap in them. And it's just not going to work. I mean,
you're talking about ride sharing.
Well, no, I don't necessarily ride share, but where you just call one of those things to come pick you up. Ride share certainly won't work.
Right.
I mean, you won't share a car with some filthy person,
But we're still going to have self-driving cars though, right?
Well, yeah, the self-driving cars. Well, yeah, but they're not going to work. They're nearly like you think they're going to work. That's going to be like 100 years away. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we got some self-driving only out there in Phoenix where Randy is. Randy can tell you how many times he's had to dodge him. All right, Randy?
Yeah, they're all over the streets, but there's actually still people, behind the wheel. I guess they're just not supposed to be touching it. But
yeah,
one of them did run over a bicyclist and kill him.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty common. I mean, you just say it such a common way, like it was normal expectation, right?
Well, they still have some work left to do to catch something that happens like instantaneously.
Okay, and I want to introduce Tony and Micah to Keith. Keith's over there on the left side of the screen. He's way up there in Connecticut or Rhode Island or somewhere. I never came through. And he does the credit spreads. Say hello there, Keith. These two guys.
Hello there, Maryland.
Maryland.
Mar-
Okay.
Maryland, my
Got you now.
Maryland, where the Preakness
Sometimes-
is going to be this weekend.
Well, is it in Maryland? I didn't realize that. What's the rink, or what have they run horses in the ring?
Yeah, it's the at Pimlico. The racetrack is where the Preakness is being run right now. Yeah, in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Hey, did they ever say who won the Kentucky Derby?
It depends who you talk to.
Well, can there be a Triple Crown this year?
No, because the horse that did win, because of the default of the other one, came down with some slight sickness and will not run in the Preakness. And the one that did win that got disqualified, he wasn't going to run anyway. So no Triple Crown this year.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get around now that we've discussed the sports world and stuff, and since we're really a financial show, we'll talk about that. Let's kind of get off with the new micro moment trading, which we've just started that service, like I say, officially Monday a week ago, and this is into the second week so far. The returns, I think total returns that were net for last week of 76 or 78%. So far, through today, is 84.7% for the week, micro moment. Of course, you guys all know micro moments, so I don't have to explain that to you. But for the people listening, those are trades that they get into using options. So you have total absolute, fantastic leverage without the use of borrowing money. And you're in and out of the deals in moments to minutes. And Tony, what were your time on in those two trades this morning? One was like 2 minutes, one was 3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, one was about 1:45, and the other one was about 2 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
And Mike, he didn't do one today, but they're about the same thing. Now they have two sessions. It's interesting. They come on when the market first opens, and we're using our GoToWebinar, so it's just much like this right here, except they're just talking to each other, and I'm usually on there too. Their charts come up. Tony trades QQQ, Mike is Apple, and those two charts are up there. And then they're just going back and forth, just like we're kind of talking here. And when they find a trade they want to do, they let Sue Ann know, and everybody hears it at the same time. And she sends out, like we've always done on those micro moment trades, she sends out an email to everybody, and they see it instantly, what they're anticipating doing. And then when they actually do it, they're doing it with their own money, and it's a real trade. And the people see that moments before they do it, and then when they get out of the position. And there's losses every now and then. Those trades I gave you are net trades. There hadn't been a day where it hadn't been positive net trades, and the losses are pretty minimal. But otherwise, we wouldn't have such huge returns. So we could break 100% this week. Now remember, when we promote this service, we promote it. We're trying to achieve 1% a week on $1,000 investment, never to be changed. And at the end of 20 years, you have $30 million based on getting 1% per week. Well, obviously, we're much in excess of that. And I'm sure a couple more months, I'll have the 20, $30 million already in the bank, right? But that's the new service. If anybody wants to call in, which probably won't be anybody today because nobody knew about that until a few moments ago, but the number is 214-377-1108. Now, you guys know the legends here, Keith and Randy. And so, Randy, how's your week going? See, Randy has.
Right.
There you go. There he goes.
Takes me a while to hit that unmute microphone. Going good. This is wild market. It changes like in 2 seconds based off somebody saying something or tweeting or whatever. But as you know, one of the things that I do is the Advanced Charting Platinum service, which has got some similarities to what Micah does with the micro moment, but they're in and out, as they said, in like 1 minute and 2 minutes. Or advanced charting momentum trades, it's more like a couple of days. So right during the webinar on Monday, we hold a live in the market training webinar every Monday morning, and I go through the charts, look at your proprietary advanced charting package, and we identify a position that's just starting to get into rising momentum, and then buy the option. And that one closed out this morning actually for a 4.4% return for 3 days. So those guys, those youngsters out there, they see they can handle those really quick things, and us older guys, it takes a little longer.
Yeah, you're the older guys. You kind of worked yourself into it. You had to get older before you could do your trades because you naturally.
Yeah. They make 3, 4, 5% in a couple of minutes. Well, it took me 3 days to make 4.4%, but still 4.4%, even if it's
that's also
for a
because
week.
you look at the screen a lot harder because you don't see very well also. So
Well, and the screen's bigger.
Not here. Yeah, exactly.
You get a bigger screen, and the lines are bigger, so it's easier to read for the ones that aren't, like 20 something. So
Yeah.
but that's good, and we've been averaging pretty much in the 4% a week for the whole year. It's great, and as you said, when we find a position that we're actually putting in our own account, we send an alert out, and it goes right out to everybody that's subscribing to the service, and they get to look and see exactly what's going on in the market with real live positions. So they can follow along to start with, to learn using their virtual trading, so it doesn't cost them any money. It doesn't put any money at risk, and they can learn right along side by side, like watching over our shoulder.
It just dawned on me, Randy, that all that new AI technology where you wear that, I don't know why it wouldn't be too long. You just have one of those pair of goggles on and you can actually trade just by blinking. Like you would see the trade and you would blink your right eye for this, you blink your left eye for that, and it would execute it. I don't know why not. It's just,
That would be one of those things you got to be cautious of, like going to an auction. You don't want to scratch your nose at an auction because it might be putting a bid in.
Yeah, you might have just bought that Monet for $110 million.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's how it used to be back in the olden days before these guys were ever around. And just for their benefit, Keith and Randy know about this, but we used to do the 2-day seminars, and people would all come over to a place in Dallas or wherever we might be giving it, and we spent the first hour going over positions where people tried to buy a stock. And this was back where nobody had cable or anything, and it was all dial-up. And on dial-up in the old days, you'd hit a trade to buy something, and you didn't see it instantly do it because it wouldn't instantly do it. So you'd hit the key again, you hit the key again, you hit the key again. Well, the key remembered, and you'd end up buying 2 or 3 times what you thought you bought. And even worse, when you sold 6 or 7 times what you thought you'd bought. And so it's really interesting. We spent a lot of time doing that. So in fact, a couple of shows ago we talked about back in the old days. You guys should have been here then. We'll have to you can go back onto YouTube and go back several shows and hear the reminiscing days of the old times. So as much as Randy could remember, he can't remember too much at this point. But,
yes, right. It gets further and further away in the past,
There you go. So Keith, tell them what you do.
Yeah, I run the weekly credit spread service, platinum service, and like Randy, I run a webinar on Tuesdays from noon to 1:30 or so East Coast time, where I go through the charts, go through the rules that I'm looking to enter these trades, and we spend a lot of time going through the charts, trying to find a good place in the charts. These kind of trades, originally I was trying to be in these like 3 to 5 days, but with the volatility in the market these days, I'm happy to be out the same day. It's not micro moment trading. It's, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 3 hours. I had the last one I did hold overnight, but closed right at the open of the market on Friday. So it's the less I'm in the market right now with the volatility, the better on these trades. The Iron Condor, which I also teach and have traded, I've suspended for a bit now just because of the volatility. You really want a flat market with these Iron Condors, and we certainly have not had that recently. I'm around to answer emails, and just like Randy, any trades that I do, I tell you what I'm looking at ahead of time. And then I tell you when I get into it, what I got into it for, and how I'm looking to manage it and get out of it. And so I tell you each step along the way. Again, you can virtual trade those until you get the hang of it, and then start trading with the real money on that.
Okay.
So.
Mike and Tony, there was the email came in right before we started this podcast from a lady, and I don't have it in front of me, but the gist of it was she wanted to know, when you're doing the macro moments, do you typically go one strike out or one strike below the going market price when you establish a new deal or position?
I typically, my rule of thought is I try to keep it in the dollar, anywhere from the option price being from $1. Sometimes I even go less than $1. But I rarely go above $2, and the reason for that is the higher the option price, the more cents you'll have to gain in order to see a good return. And so, it's different. For a 5 cent or 5% return, you only need 5 cents at $1. Whereas for $2, you need 10 cents. And so that's just like a very simple rule of thought I try to follow. But also, there's a little more volatility out of the money, from what I find. There's a little more option buying going on, one out of the money than in the money, actually, or at the money, I should say. And so usually it's one or two, sometimes three, but usually it's no more than three. But I try to keep it in that $1.20 range. So once you get that return of 6 cents, then that's 6% return right there. So that's my rule of thought.
What about you, Micah?
I would say close to the same thing. Most of it's pretty similar. One column I like to have up on my option chain is open interest. Shows the existing positions, the existing volume, so to speak. And if you have those pre-existing positions, there's obviously going to be some more play on it. I think that's one of the things that people don't realize when they first start out trading options is they think that the delta is all that controls the movement, and that is not the case. Yesterday is a very strange market, but the strike price volume is what very and from 170 to $2.
Yeah, Mike, you were kind of coming in.
And that's obviously not representative of a $2 move. So, it's a balance for me. I keep a hard eye on the live volume of that strike price. So if you say you have two,
yeah, I think Mike's got a little slower connection or something. Mike, we got all the gist that you kind of your picture kind of went in and out a little bit.
Is that better?
And your voice kind of went in and out a little bit, but yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you're fine. I think what also regarding Mike, there's another nefarious reason we have him on here. He's gonna, I hesitate to say our poster child. He's going to be our poster trader. Since there's so much, about, he's 21 years old. And so there's so much talk about, these young kids get out of college and they can't do anything. They're pretty much useless for the rest of their life because they went to college and they didn't learn anything, and they only go to get a job. And so they're going to work for somebody the rest of their life. Well, Micah is, about that age. So we're going to show to the world out there and recruit a lot more younger people that even at a young age, the way to build retirement and wealth and stuff and a job that you have complete control over is doing this kind of trading. So Mike, I will never refer to you as our poster child again. You're going to be our poster trader from now on. So anyhow, my calculator is so old. This calculator I bought was back, 30 years ago. And it was a Monroe calculator salesman. And he came to me and it was like, I don't know, it must be like 9 inches by 5 inches. And it's just got the bright red, readout. And he was so proud. Monroe, I mean, I don't even know if they're still in business, but Monroe Calculator Company was big back then. They were the biggest ones. And they were the first ones to come out with one of these electronic calculators. And all it could do was add and subtract and divide. That's it. It wouldn't even square root. And I still use it today because I've never had any reason to do anything but that. So it's getting a little dim, but okay. Well, this has been an exciting afternoon. We don't have any phone calls. Marcus, do you have any phone calls over there?
I do not have any phone calls.
Okay, no phone calls today. Last week we had a couple phone calls.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so that was good. Well, they need to put out, because there'll be people that typically have not communicated a whole lot with Tony and Micah, and this would be a good way for them to call in. That way other people can hear what they're answering and stuff. Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. And Mike and Tony, really appreciate you guys. Your first trial here. Now, Mike, will you be moved? When are you moving to Seattle?
Our move date is the 24th.
Oh, the 24th. Okay, so around next weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I actually should be able to stay on the webinar because we have Memorial Day on that Monday.
Yeah.
So I believe the market will be closed. So I should be able to not miss any days.
And you're going from Montana to Seattle. My God, what a change in lifestyle.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Right. Okay. Okay, very good. Well, I appreciate everybody being here, and we'll see everybody back next Thursday at 10 a.m. And we'll go from there. Thanks a whole lot. Bye.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Hey, goodbye, everybody. Have a good week.